What up, and welcome back to another Ramblings in the Basement. It's your boy Theory.
Ivancito.
And today we're doing... it's a special episode today.
Called Dreams.
Dreams.
That's how I saw it. I saw Dreams. The title, I just saw Dreams, so I was like, alright.
That's not this week. That's next week, isn't it?
No.
That's supposed to be the Martin Luther King Jr. episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
Because tomorrow's Martin Luther King Jr.
I mean, I figured because, like, Martin Luther King Jr. and Dream, I had a dream or have a dream, that's what I was thinking. But
We have a whole other episode
you're right,
dedicated about dreams.
The actual dreams, yeah.
That's why you confused me. Yeah, I guess we're going to talk about a different dream.
We're talking about Martin Luther King Jr.
Also, my birthday is the next day.
His birthday. So his Martin Luther's birthday is tomorrow, and we celebrate it
I don't
too.
think that's his birthday.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is always on a Monday. How's this gonna be his birthday?
It's January 15th. It's his birthday.
That's his actual birthday? Then why is it always on a Monday?
Oh, because they wanted to make it into a national holiday, but I don't know what it is.
That doesn't explain why it's always on a
I don't
Monday.
know, but on the January 15th is when his birthday is.
So this year it's just gonna, it just happens to land on his birthday.
I guess so.
Interesting.
Like
I don't know enough to fact check that, so I'm just gonna agree with it for now.
Oh yeah, he got murdered.
Interesting.
He got murdered on
He did.
April.
Just
April,
switch into that.
Yeah, April 4th. Yeah, now we'll talk about that.
And off the deep end. Fuck it, no. We talk about it now.
Yeah, he got murdered
He got
April 4th, 1968. And then the year he was born, I don't know, but his birthday is January 15th.
He was taken out because he was speaking too much truth, and they didn't like that.
You know, it's funny. Like, it's crazy too because it was during the Civil Rights Union. But the more I think about it, like, it's just black people were able to vote. What it's called, white people were able to vote. But people say he was fighting for people like civil rights. But in reality, he wasn't. I think he even said it. He's not fighting for civil rights. He was fighting for what is called human rights.
For human rights.
Yeah, because there's a difference between human rights and civil rights. Because technically, they did have civil rights. Because the civil rights is like the fair to like the amendments, pretty much.
Legal rights.
Yeah. So the whole thing is like pretty much human rights that everybody like. He was more worried about like everybody getting treated the same because. Just because back then, like, yeah, they might have had rights, like black people and all that. They might have actually had their like rights and all, but they weren't treated right as well. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy how often back then they used to say Negroes. They don't say it now, but like it's not like they're just saying black people. Even white people say it, but like not like. Not an offensive. Some say it in an offensive way, of course, and some others they're like that's how they talked about like black people. That's how they say.
I mean, you know where that came from? They just learned that from Spanish. They're just saying
Negros?
negro,
Yeah,
and they're just saying it, but I guess in their own accent.
that's when you put the hard R and all that. I feel like that's when you're doing. But like everybody said it back then at that time.
Yeah.
It's different now because of course the time later on always changes, of course, and like the language changes over time, but like that's how they used to talk. That's what he used to say. That's what a lot of like white people used to say. They didn't ever said like that black folk over there. They usually they would say. I'm not gonna say it now, guys.
I already said it once. I'm not getting canceled. But I have a whole clip of it. Just keep on saying the N-word. Negroes. Just a whole clip.
But it's true though. Like that's history. That's how it was during the time.
Listen, when a Hispanic says it, I'm just saying it. I'm just saying black. It's not racist when a Hispanic says it. Negro. Even though technically that's not the proper way, because the proper way to refer to black people in Spanish is moreno. You still, if you call them negro, that's still kind of weird.
Moreno, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. But what if that's how they said it back then?
I mean, that's probably where else would the name come from?
And then they changed to morenos.
Yeah. the white people made it racist, and they're like, "Oh shit, we can't keep using that word, bro." Yo, fucking slave owners, what y'all do? Y'all made our word racist.
Nah, I feel like slave owners and all that, they use the hard R.
Yeah.
Because even then, like, when they was sports and all that, like, anything like that, they'll still say Negroes.
Does it come from that, or does it come from Nigeria?
That's a good... Huh.
What if the Hispanics had nothing to do with it?
Maybe. Who knows?
What if the Hispanics got it from Nigeria, and then they got it from the Spaniards? We could look into this shit, but we're not going to. Leave it up in the air. So
you look it up.
We're not here to give you guys facts. We're just here to ramble in a basement.
Nah, but I was reading, because I don't know what it was about, like, the whole speech, because I know he had a speech, that I have a dream speech.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish reading
Which,
it.
by the way, I feel like is more relevant today than ever. This whole idea of being, judged by your character.
You want us to read it? We can pull it up.
Better read.
I have 5% of my thing, but shit.
This motherfucker. Charger, shit. Bring your charger. I guess not now. It's too late now. Fuck it. You got 5%. Look this shit up.
We're just looking up this. Everything else I know. Somewhat.
You're gonna hold him to that, guys. I want y'all to comment down below if he forgets something. If we need a reference later on and he doesn't remember it by heart,
Oh shit.
I want y'all to leave in the comments. Maybe on you live to us.
He said this, but it was actually this. How dare you?
We need community notes on YouTube. Say.
No.
No, we don't.
Actually, this is not the one that I saw, so I don't think it's this.
Alright. But yeah. Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay, here. It is. You want to read it?
Go ahead. You put it up.
I'm not the best reader, so.
You gotta practice.
Not online. Oh,
Not online.
Look, it even says right there, millions of Negro slaves who had been. So it says, all right.
You got it.
I'll do the first one. You do the second one. Yeah.
We're gonna do the bump technique from high school.
Yeah.
Bump.
I am happy to join. I am happy to join with you today in what we go down in history as the greatest demonstration of freedom in the history of our nation.
Are we switching off every paragraph?
Yeah.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering justice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. So I'm guessing he's referring to the Declaration of Independence.
Mm-hmm. But 100 years later, the Negro is still.
No. Go back up. He's not talking about. I don't think he's talking about the Declaration of Independence. Emancipation Proclamation. I think that's when they free the slaves. And then he's talking about how even though they're free, they're still not being treated free. That's what he's saying. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination.
Yeah, it was that one.
So yeah, he's referring to, that's what the Emancipation Proclamation is when they're free the slaves.
Where were you at?
But he's saying
100.
Okay, but why are we reading this? What's the point that we're making?
I just wanted to read it so people know about it too. I mean, I was gonna go more into it later on, like more into it, but it shouldn't have been that big. No. Yeah, that's not it. This is just stuff.
That's not the whole speech.
Yeah, the whole speech was right here. It was pretty much this, and maybe like to here, and that's it. No, it's right here. All this.
It's a long speech, bro.
Yeah.
You want to just play it? Like, I'm sure there's an audio version. Like,
Sure, I'll just.
nobody wants to tune into us.
Yeah, sure. I'll play it on the thing.
You don't have it on your phone?
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you might just play it on the thing.
Nah, because then we got to edit that shit in. That's more work. We could just play it on the microphone. Just hold it up to your chest real quick. I mean, how long is it?
One says 6 minutes and 47 minutes, one says 17 minutes.
That's a big difference.
And then one says 1 minute to 11 seconds.
I feel like it's just doing the highlights.
7 minutes.
We should start doing this shit live. We can get people's opinions. Like, yo, which one should we listen to?
Will go down.
Oh, that's the colorized version. They use AI to put color on it.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty.
This was like when our grandparents were born.
Of a vast ocean of
What year is it?
material prosperity. This nation will rise up.
But I mean, if you even think about it, he got born in 1963, I think.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
My dad was born in 1969.
You so when you're passing them? Yeah. Yeah.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of
You know what's really crazy?
I have a dream.
Is that to a certain
That
extent,
one day,
part of that's still true.
even the
Was
state
it?
of Mississippi, a state
How you're saying, like, even 100 years later, black people are still slaves. Even today, there's some people that are still slaves, and just it's different. I feel like slavery has just been evolving to what I feel like a lot of people are gonna get upset about this shit. But I feel like modern day slavery for black people is like this victim mentality that they've been sold. It's like this mentality of like, oh, you're always gonna be a victim no matter what. And so they're trying to sell you onto this sort of mental slavery where you're always looking at yourself as a victim. So you feel hopeless and you don't feel like you can make a living for yourself. You can do shit for yourself. So they kind of make you feel like you depend on the government. And that's why they're trying to get them to vote for shit that helps them with the government, like fucking financial aid from the government, like food stamp shit. They try to get them to vote for things that will make them more dependent because they still got them captivated in that mental slavery.
You know what's crazy too? I don't know if he says it in his speech or like after he says it, finishes his speech, or whenever he goes back into like to go talk. He even says like I regret doing this because now that I did this, he like you said he's a target now, and then nobody's gonna be there to like guide them to show them what to do because if he's dead, they silence him and everything slowly goes away
I
again.
guarantee if Martin Luther King Jr. was in today's society, he would be against this victim mentality. 100%. Because it doesn't help the black communities when they act like society owes them reparations as opposed to just like letting the government get the fuck out of your way. Because you can do shit on your own as long as the government stays out of your way, and you can get your own reparations if that's what you want to call it. And you can get your own, make your own money, do what you got to do. But I feel like people are being trained to believe that they need to basically beg the government to take care of them. It's like asking for, financial aid in all these different ways. And it's not just the black community. A lot of Hispanics are falling into the same traps. It's just we get.
I feel like that's what we're going into right now.
The traps are set a little different.
Because now it's like now it's like if you bring it back into like the LGBT, it's like the whole human right, like they want equal whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we should just treat it like the whole human right is everybody should be treated equally or should be treated right because we're all human. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter about skin, sex, or race or whatever it is. The human right, like it's just us. Like we just need to be treating ourselves better.
Yeah.
As a human race.
Exactly.
That's the dream.
That was his whole dream when he in his speech. He's like, it's about getting treated equally and then being valued by the content of your character, like he says himself. Shit, I don't need to rephrase it. The point being that it should be about who you are as a person, not what you look like.
But it was during the whole civil rights situation, but it wasn't even for civil rights. It was like like we said, it's for human rights. But civil rights is like technically they did have their civil rights. They had the freedom of speech. They had freedom of religion. Freedom of to like bear arm. All that is their pretty much silver. What is it? What I was saying.
Civil rights.
Civil rights because they're citizens of the U.S. That's how they got their amendments when the amendment of them to be able to vote, black people to vote.
Yeah.
Ever since then, that's when everything became more. And then when women became to vote, it's more rights for civilization.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't for that, but it was more for like we all gotta just like we said it again to treat each other right and treat each other like if we're humans. Because once you get desensitized to all that, you can nothing.
I mean, that's kind of what people don't want to acknowledge now is happening. Just the other way around, where, like what do they call it? The fuck, I forgot what they called it. They're like diversity hires though. There are diversity quotas, whereas like they want people to have diversity in like different places now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like in some colleges, they make it harder for like an Asian person because like Asians usually have higher grades, so they make it harder for them to get in because they want their colleges to be more diverse. So they don't want it to be a bunch of Asians going to their college because then it looks like it's just Asians. So they start excluding them, and it's like that's also racism. Your anti-racism is still racism. It's just you're pointing it in the other direction now. And people say, well, you can't be racist towards white people or towards people with societal power or whatever the fuck they call it.
White.
But it's like, nah, racism is racism, bro.
You can still be racist.
And you create more problems when you can't fight fire with fire. You're just making more fire. And I think it was Morgan Freeman that said that. He says the best way to fight racism is to just stop talking about it. Stop focusing so much on it. Because if you just see each other as humans instead of focusing so much as, hey, that's a black guy, or hey, that's an Asian dude, that's a Middle Eastern dude. Like, stop seeing the race in people and just be like, hey, that's a dude, that's another dude.
That could be a bad dude, that could be a bad woman, that could be a good dude, that could be a good woman.
Yeah.
It's the woman, not the race.
But
or the skin, or whatever it is.
It's like focus on individuality. Where it's like everyone is an individual. And I understand that stereotypes come from somewhere. Like, they don't just magically appear. Like, I get why stereotypes exist. Sometimes there's some truth to them. That being said, you don't have to be racist about it and be like, okay, I'm gonna treat this person bad because stereotype says that they're gonna be a bad person. If it turns out to be true, it turns out to be true. But that doesn't mean that you have to like be on the lookout and be like, okay, stereotypes as Hispanics, they're gonna steal from you. So every time I see a Hispanic, I gotta be careful. All right,
You're on guard now.
you gotta be on guard. It's like, okay,
That's the whole thing. But then look, there's a lot of, especially here, they make us like, I guess in the U.S. that they make us worry about that so much. And then now how there's like human trafficking, that's even worse too. So they're just making us on guard at all
and
times.
I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, pretty much is that they're trying to make us like,
They do want everyone to be on guard and paranoid. I feel like,
and like not trust anybody or like.
but I feel like also, like I was saying, like stereotypes can be true, but also keep in mind, stereotypes are just like a tiny detail of the whole picture. It's like, for example, like stereotypes
Stereotypes are funny. most of the
stereotypes
time.
of like Hispanics being thieves or like Hispanics stealing from you. There's some truth to that. Sure, there's a lot of Hispanics that commit crimes, but also keep in mind what the type of Hispanics are. It's usually the most ghetto thug looking ass Hispanics. Like you can tell. It's not just you're not just gonna see a Hispanic that's dressed nicely and be like, oh, that motherfucker's gonna rob from me. Like it's also how you present yourself as a person. So it's like if you're worried about stereotypes about people looking at you differently, present yourself differently, and people won't treat you different. Like it's really that simple. No one's gonna see someone all dressed up in a suit and tie and think that motherfucker's gonna rob me with a gun or some shit. Like maybe there's some people out there, but most people are not gonna think poorly of you if you present yourself in a good manner. It's all about how you present yourself. I feel like obviously there's still some people who are just straight up racist. Those are the exception. Don't worry about them. They're irrelevant, honestly. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to see that many people like that. And you can avoid them if they really exist. So there's always going to be that one person. I know someone that's really racist. They'll hate you. It's like, okay, fucking avoid them. It's like one person. It's like no one. You're not going to find a whole group of like the KKK is not prominent like they used to be. Like I feel like people make a big deal about racism, whereas like it's not that prominent anymore. Like there are some people who are really, really racist like that, but they're first of all,
That's more like in the South.
they're really not that prominent. And second of all,
Coach.
in the era of social media, they know better than to fucking do something stupid. Most people know that their shit will get. Not everyone, and that's why we have fucking mass shooters that commit all that shit. But that's a whole different conversation. To be honest, that's when you get to the extremes of shit, which is like I feel like we act like the extremes are more common than they are, just because we highlight them a lot on TV. But it's like on a day-to-day basis, you're not like it's not something that you got to worry about. Like people act like mass shooting, or not everyone, but some people act like mass shooting is something you got to actually worry about when you go out, like on a day-to-day basis. Like
There has been a lot of mass shooting. Not a lot,
like
but
there's a lot, but like I don't go out and I'm not worried about that shit. Like I don't go out thinking like, oh shit, I gotta be on the lookout. I was at work one day and this lady was like, I want to be facing the doors because you never know nowadays. I was like, bro, like it's not that common. Like yes, you see it a lot in the news, but like I feel like people make the extremes seem like they're more common than they are sometimes. And it's like I'm not saying don't like let your guard down and completely, but like don't be paranoid. Like you were saying. Like they want you to be on edge. They want you to be paranoid constantly. It's like don't let that shit get to you. Like live your life, bro. Like I'm not saying let your guard down entirely, but
don't let that stop you from living your life.
Because that's the same shit with the racism. It's like people are constantly like looking to be offended, looking to be a victim. It's like if you're just looking for that shit, you're gonna find it. It's like just live your life, bro. You'll enjoy yourself better. And even if they are being racist,
It's bound to happen one time.
even if they are being racist and you just ignore it, you're still gonna be better off. I was like, just live your life, bro. Don't let that shit affect you.
But going back to like the Martin Luther too, like going to like this is not conspiracy because I think it's actually been shown now. But the way people think that Martin Luther King Jr. died is because he got shot, and that's the reason why he died. Actually, no. Well, I guess this is where the conspiracy comes. Is that what it's called? He got taken to the hospital. You know what's crazy? Before going to that, supposedly more people died there, and it's like I think 3 people got shot, and then the hotel owner's wife died too, because supposedly she got so scared that she got a heart attack during that time.
You know what's crazy is around that time is when the CIA invented the heart attack gun.
Really?
So that is a little crazy. Because that's when they that's an actual thing. It's been confirmed. They have a gun that can give people heart attacks. And that's supposedly what they're saying that I think Michael Jackson died of, was a heart attack. And he was saying,
a lot of people was heart attack.
And he was saying that they were going to kill him.
That makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, going back, we'll go back to the thing, but like if you think about it, there's a lot of like news reporters or any like just people talking where you just see them like, oh, and they fall back.
Right now, I think it's because of the fucking shots. Right now,
it could be because of the shots. It could be because of the shots too, but who knows?
But it could be that too. Honestly, you never know with this shit. They have so much shady technology that they don't want you to know about. Like HAARP is real too. That's been confirmed. We know that for a fact, where they can control the weather.
Because pretty much whatever the government can have, we can have as well.
Yeah, we figured out how to do it.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that one video? There's a guy that he made his homemade satellite, and he was talking to the astronauts on the International Space Station.
No way.
Bro, he literally standing in his backyard, homemade satellite. He's pointing that shit up, and he starts talking on the radio to the people on the International Space Station. That's just crazy. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can do crazy shit with science.
Huh.
But the government keeps most of that. Well, it's not even that the government keeps most of that shit to themselves. It's just that we're too dumb to understand most of that shit. Let's be honest.
Dumb.
I feel like a lot of it is because the government doesn't teach people shit. Like, the school systems aren't actually meant to help people learn.
Like, we're actually really smart if we really put our mind into it. I
think humans are natural learners, to be honest. Like, if you really taught like any human, they could become really smart. I've always thought about like humans as just like organic computers. Like, you can program anything into a human, and obviously,
especially when they're little kids, that's when they
like obviously some people are just going to be naturally better at some things than others. But I genuinely think like we're just organic computers. Like, you can program anything into them, and they can either be masters at it if you teach them right, or they can be incompetent if you're teaching them wrong. But
everybody learns differently.
Like, everyone has the potential to learn anything. It's just a matter of how much effort you're willing to put into it, how much time you're willing to put in, obviously, and also how good your teacher is, I guess, or how many different teachers are looking for. Sometimes you don't have to have one good teacher. As long as you get like multiple teachers, you learn one thing from one guy, learn something from someone else.
Yeah.
The point is your determination of how much you're really willing to learn. I feel like anyone could learn anything. That should just cut off. Obviously within reason. I'm not like, we're not gonna be unrealistic about it and say like some dude in a wheelchair can learn how to run. Not to be fucked up. I mean, unless he goes to like physical therapy and maybe his legs are still functional.
I feel like
even in that case, he can't learn how to run.
I still feel like at the end of the day, a lot of it has to do with will and faith in some things too.
Yeah, well, that would lead to like physical therapy. Like, if he really could push through that shit, but it really depends even on there. Sometimes like you can have all the will, but if you don't have legs, for example, you don't have legs.
That's a whole different thing right there.
At that point, even then though, if you have the will for it, go get yourself some synthetic legs. You can be right back up and running.
Right? Like, don't let anything stop you from doing what you really want to do.
That's crazy. Have you seen the show American Gods?
No, I still haven't seen it.
I fucking love it.
Where's it at?
It's
HBO?
on HBO.
My Emily got HBO now, so
Let me tell you something.
I can actually watch it.
The first episode, there's that one scene that will always stick to me. Or he says that same shit where he's like, it's all about like you can manifest anything into existence. And he's talking about how like people used to believe that flying, that was something humans would never experience. Like for like majority of history, like the majority of human history, that was always something that would never happen with humans. And it's not until the Wright brothers were able to convince everyone, yo, this is actually possible, Then all of a sudden, we figured it out. Then once they figured out a prototype and they convinced everyone, yo, we can actually do this shit. Like, it's actually possible. That's when everyone started like, okay, we can actually learn. And now we have people studying even more and more. If they never convinced everyone that it was possible, we wouldn't have all these engineers that dedicate their lives to studying how to make airplanes faster and all that shit. All of NASA, we wouldn't have all that shit if they weren't able to convince people that it was possible.
Rockets.
And it's all about that willpower. They were willing to put in that work to find that way.
It's like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Like they're doing so much on like rockets and all that because they want to focus on that.
Exactly. Like fucking bringing up Elon Musk. They never thought that you'd be able to make a reusable rocket. That motherfucker, he just designed a rocket that you can land it and reuse it.
Really?
Yeah. People didn't think that was like a thing. You always just launched it and it'll just crash back down like when you're done with it.
No, but it lands back by itself.
It lands like he designed the rocket that could just land it and then just reuse it. And it saves them so much money.
It makes sense though. I feel like if you actually put like the actual codes and everything like that, it's like I feel like it's a lot of like
it's a lot of engineering
programming
into it.
Yeah.
But people didn't think that was possible, and now that's just a regular. It's just the standard now. At least for his company, I don't know if that's a standard all the way around.
I don't think so. It could be
But
later.
it will be eventually, yeah. I mean, that's the crazy shit. Is like once you show people that something is possible, and they start putting more effort into it, and it's like they start believing, and they start like, okay, now I can actually dedicate myself to try to learn how to do it. And now you have two people doing it. Now you have people learning different techniques, and that's how you learn how to expand that shit. And I feel like that applies to everything, bro. That applies to everything, every aspect of life.
It's the same thing if space is real. Sometimes I have like faith on that too. Like I don't know if it is or not. What it's called? Like I say, if space is real, if it might be. I'm sure it is real, but it's going to Mars. That's a whole other thing too. It's like Elon wants to make us go to Mars, and like have plants and do all that. That's another like dream right there.
Exactly. People think we can't go to Mars. Fucking 100 years from now, people are going to be traveling from Mars and Earth like, casually, and they're going to be going on vacation to Mars like it's nothing. Like, once it's possible, it's just a matter of people innovating how to do it better.
But going back to the whole conspiracy too about Martin Luther. So people think he died because he got shot, and that's how he died, because of him getting shot at. But no, they took him to the hospital, and when they took him to the hospital, supposedly the nurse got told either by the CIA or by the doctor hospital for her to leave. And then the actual doctor, which the doctor that was there, supposedly was family with the whole like Italian mafia. So supposedly when she was there, when she looked around, turned around, she would just see them spitting on Martin Luther King Jr. and they suffocated him with a pillow.
Honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if that was true. I can't say anything because I don't have any evidence. And obviously, you're the one that did the research on this one, so I don't have anything to back that up. But I mean, I would believe it 100%.
Conspiracies, but yeah. But I think there's a book. Someone, I forgot his name.
Because around that time, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but there's a book that's like talks about all that too, and I don't know what it was called. I think it was, but I know the author was like called like Wilson or William or something like that. And I thought like last name, I don't know.
Because I know around that time, like you said, it was around John F. Kennedy's presidency, and that's when the government was doing a lot of shady.
A lot of
shit.
CIA.
That's when they were setting up the CIA. Like that's when the CIA and the FBI were really starting to take off, and that's the reason that JFK got assassinated, was because he was going to expose that the government was trying to control, or I guess like they were trying to control the country without without the president. They're trying to control the country behind the scenes, which is what the CIA FBI kind of does now, and we're seeing that shit, to be honest. And even today, with a lot of the conspiracies that they've been doing, like, I know this is like a little, what's the word? We're walking on thin ice with this one, because some people get like censored for saying shit like this, but a lot of people, myself partially included, like I'm not completely denying this possibility, but a lot of people believe that the CIA was actually behind the January 6th attack on the Capitol, where they were rioting to try to interfere with the
Okay, never mind.
what was it, with the presidential shit.
So John F. Kennedy died in 1963. Martin Luther King Jr. died on 1968.
So you got
So
cut after.
5 years apart. So what if maybe John F. and Martin Luther was close, or they might have talked. I don't know. That what is called that when he found out he died. Cause I don't know when I gotta look into more of the thing where, cause I don't know when he died, but he might have said like, yeah, I might have messed up on doing this, because they were probably gonna go after him or
I
do
feel
something.
like
Cause this, like you said, it was during that time with the CIA
I
too.
feel like it's unrelated, but it's not. Like maybe
It's during that decade.
maybe JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. knew each other. I don't know about that. But what I feel like, this is my personal theory, is I feel like Martin Luther King Jr., his whole dream, the whole idea behind treating people by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin, I feel like that whole idea and pushing that whole movement interfered with what the CIA was trying to push, which was, I feel like it's them who are actually pushing this right now. It's this whole victim mentality. It's this whole victim culture. And I feel like if Martin Luther King's idea of this whole being treated by the content of your character, I feel like if that whole idea, that whole movement was allowed to take hold and really take a good hold of like the whole country, I feel like the CIA wouldn't have been able to set themselves up to be where they are right now, which is have this strong hold over, I guess, the black community and this whole victim mentality.
You know when they talked?
When?
They met for the first time. No, this is right here. This is when Kennedy met King finally at the White House in 1963. In June of 1963, and then he died in November or December. John F. Kennedy,
right before dying.
Yeah, so it says right here, President Lyon, like, so the pretty much the vice president that became president. Relationship of human rights. So here, I don't know his name. What's his name?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson and Martin Luther King Jr. King talked with the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, on December 3rd, 1963. Today, 2 Graham.
So that's not him talking to John F. Kennedy.
No, it's right here.
Huh.
That was up here. That was in December 3rd of that year.
It says June. Oh, you're talking about the other Lyndon B. Johnson?
So then he dies. So then maybe he I don't know. There's some more conspiracy there's too.
Maybe. But I mean, it is 5 years apart that Martin Luther King Jr. died. So I don't know if that's related. But maybe.
Because if you think about it.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like they were both going against their agenda. So I don't know if they were both working together to go against it, because it seems like they were attacking from different angles.
Exactly. I don't think they were probably... Like, they were probably one... They probably had different plans, because
the way I see it is like John F. Kennedy was attacking like the establishment, for lack of a better word. But he was attacking it from the angle of like he's against centralized power, where he doesn't want all the power to be like centralized. Whereas I feel like Martin Luther King Jr. was attacking the establishment from the side of like he wants people to be united. It was like more like a loving.
But then what John F. Kennedy was doing is like they're pretty much it's gonna be like he's trying to stop it from that not to happen.
Yeah.
Because if John F. Kennedy if his went through and then Martin Luther went through, everything would have like A lot
we could
of
have had a much better country. I'll just say that for sure. If Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream came true, I guess it's still. I mean, it's in the process. I feel like we're still working towards it. I just feel like it's gonna be a longer
that was like an opportunity.
road than we had hoped for. But I think a lot of this is due to the fact that the government is full of corrupt people, and I think a lot of the times we're led to believe it's like it's racism, it's this, it's that, it's the other. No, it's just that these motherfuckers want to stay in power and they don't want to do fucking work. They just want to be lazy bums that rely on tax dollars to live lavish fucking lifestyles. Like they go out to parties and they have fucking orgy parties and do crack cocaine.
Gee, you know what I was
crazy shit. And they're not fucking working. We're paying for that shit with our taxes.
The America I would like to have, or just the dream that I would like to have for our country would be just we all live our own life where we all love our neighbors, treat one another right.
That's ideal. Like
farm, live, have landscape, do all that kind of stuff, and just live.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone
enjoy life,
live and let live. Like that used to be the motto of gay people. And I can't believe I agree with that shit now. Live and let live. I can't fucking agree. I can't believe I agree with that shit though. Just live your life and let motherfuckers live their life.
Now they don't live that shit.
Right now, gay people can't do that shit. That's crazy. The irony.
Straight up. What are you gonna do about that?
The fucking irony, bro. So now they're talking about live and let live. Nah, I want to make your kid gay. So I want to make your kids trans. So now, motherfucker, let me live my life. You live your life.
Live your life.
Don't worry about my kids. I'll worry about my kids. You worry about your own kids, but you can't because you cut your dick off. So
I feel
that's
bad.
your decision, bro.
I mean, if they adopt kids,
unless they made you do that as a kid. That's the fucked up thing is when they start trying to make kids do that shit. It's like if you're a grown ass, like if you're a 30, 40-year-old and you want to do that shit to yourself, who the fuck am I to stop you at this point? But like, don't go pushing that shit on kids.
You know what's crazy? Nah, we're not even gonna. We can talk about that.
Yo, a whole nother speaking of trans shit, like I know this is maybe might offend some people, but I've been watching a lot of One Piece, right? You know that.
Yeah. What episode are you
on? This is where I'm going to. So I'm on the part where they're trying to break. Spoiler alert, I guess for anyone who hasn't seen One Piece. But to be honest, it's a.
No, I need to know the episode before. Because what if you pass me? I haven't watched it in a while.
That's what I'm getting to. I'm watching the part where he's trying to get back together with Ace. I'm pretty sure you've seen this part already.
No, when he's trying to get to Ace?
Yeah. Like he's going to the prison.
He's going to get assassinated? Oh, yeah, because he's about to get set. Yeah.
He's about to get executed.
Okay, so you're going to the jail part.
He's in the jail already.
Yeah, you're close.
And to the point, the last episode I'm on, they're already breaking out of the jail again.
Was Ace already taken away?
Yeah, they're taking him away right now. He's breaking back out. Anyways, that whole arc kind of made me uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, because there's a whole fucking trans community in that jail. And listen, I'm not transphobic. I try to be open-minded.
I thought that was funny.
But there's this one scene that felt so fucking demonic. That shit made me feel so uncomfortable.
How they straight up ejected him?
The one part where the guy, the leader, he has like this power where he has like his nails grow really long. He like sticks them into
his power, his devil fruit. Yeah, the devil fruit is hormone fruit.
So he can shift your hormones, right?
Make you into a guy or a girl.
So he has like really long nails. He jabs them into you, and he can change your hormones. And he turns a guy into a female.
Yeah.
And he like gets off on that shit, and laughs at the embarrassment and like how he feels embarrassed that he got turned into a female against his will. And I don't know, that whole scene just felt demonic as fuck. It was just like they're getting off on like forcefully making you transition.
He's like that's how you really want to feel. That's how you really want to be.
And I was like, bro, that's like what they're doing to little kids. So that's how they're treating little kids right now. But that whole scene just felt demonic as fuck, and it made me uncomfortable. And ever since that scene, I was like, I saw that.
Have you seen the Sanji when he was in the island?
Yeah, the island for the drag queen.
Yeah.
That wasn't as bad though.
Did you see how he turned into like one of them, kind of?
When
he left? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not as bad.
He was like, oh my god.
That's not as bad. But it was like the way they portrayed that scene. That just shit felt fucking dark.
And then he did that with he did it with
He did it again, like in the middle of a fight.
yeah, but no, there's another thing. Well, I forgot his name. Damn, it's been that long since I already forgot the character's name. Luffy, there you go. Damn, the main character.
Does it say Luffy?
Yeah, and like it gives him hormone boost.
Oh, you're talking about the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
He gives him, but it's like
That's not fucking demonic. That doesn't feel. It doesn't feel as demonic. I guess technically it's shit. If you ask a Christian, the whole show's demonic. I'm talking about devil fruits and shit. But I don't know. It's just it didn't feel as sadistic, bro. Like that whole shit just felt sadistic as fuck. He's like he's enjoying the fact that
I'm not gonna lie. Number 3 or number 2 it is. Number 2, number 3.
number 3.
No, number 2. The ballerina guy.
Yeah.
I like him. He's chill. Yeah, I actually like him.
He's a tranny too, but he's pretty cool.
He's dope.
I didn't like him at first just because he's annoying, but he's a good friend, I guess. Like he definitely comes back for Luffy all the time, and
He's a friend now.
he's a little annoying, but at the end of the day, he's not a bad person. He's alright.
I actually like him. He's funny. He's cool. He's a good friend.
But yeah, that one dude, I hate him.
He's the king of all.
He's like
Jack-
the leader of the fucking trannies. The transvestites is what they say in the fucking subtitles. They're all just trans to me. They're transvestite, transsexual, transgender. They're all just trans. I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure out the differences. I know there's differences. I just don't care that much.
Yeah. But another thing too. So after that, it took them a whole like 20 more years for them to actually make it into a national federal holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. And they did it on his birthday on the 15th of January. Well, supposedly the 15th of January, but it might not land on the 15th.
It's always on a Monday.
So that's probably why they probably do that week or whatever it is on his birthday. The reason why they did it, people say, is because so they can have another 3-day weekend. But that's probably the reason why. But like the actual reason for Martin Luther King Jr. Day is instead of not working to go actually help out someone.
Go help someone.
Yeah, like go help, like go do something, like
Go do
volunteer, go do like something like.
Interesting.
That's the whole point of Martin Luther King.
I am gonna be working, so that sucks. But I did that shit to myself because I asked to get my birthday off instead the next day. So it's worth it. I'll work on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, get my birthday off. I probably just go out to eat. Everyone keeps asking me, what are you gonna do for your birthday? I'm like, nothing. Not a damn thing. I'm just gonna go eat.
Everybody eat.
Chill.
Oh, you're gonna go all to the places that you get free shit?
Technically, yeah. Because to be honest, I wasn't gonna do shit. But then everyone keeps asking me, so I was like my mom was like, you don't even want to go out to eat? So I guess I'll go out to eat with the fam. And
that's what they did with me too.
I was like, what should I do? And I saw Red Robin's gives you a free burger if you go in, dine in only. So I was like, fuck it, I guess we're going to Red Robin. I'm gonna give myself a free burger. Bottomless fries. Bro, Red Robin's kind of bomb. Especially if it's free shit.
You're not wrong. I've only been to Red Robin a couple times.
So everyone else gotta pay.
I'm good. I got my part.
See, I got my burger. Y'all got the bill.
No, but honestly, yeah, no, like I think it was this year, last year. They're like, "What are you gonna do for your birthday?" Last year, I was like, "I don't know." Like, I didn't really think of it. Like, I didn't really want to do anything either. They're like, "You don't want to go out to eat. You don't want to go out." Like, Pati was like, "You don't want to do anything." And I was like, "Sure, let's see what is it." And then we went to go see the movie, Jesus Revolution.
I don't know. Like, I know it's like a sickness, like in the mind. I feel like I got like this. And it's weird, like I don't even feel comfortable saying this because I know I'm lazy as fuck sometimes too. But I feel like I got like this workaholic mentality where it's like, I feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm not doing something. But at the same time, I'm also lazy as fuck. So it's like I'll be chilling sometimes, But then I'm just like, damn, I'm wasting my time. So I'll get up and I'll start doing something. And like I have to like I feel like my dad instilled this into me, where it's like every day you gotta do at least something productive. So it's gotten to the point where it's like I don't even feel comfortable like doing shit like that. Where it's like I'll take a whole day off to do nothing. It's like, to me, I'm just like, nah, I'm wasting my life away. Even if it's just one day, that's just like my whole life, I'm wasting it. So if I'm not doing something today, so I'm not doing shit.
Nah, I give myself one whole day to rest. I'll be like, just sleep, and then there you go.
Here's the thing. I understand it's actually good for you to rest. So I'll give myself a day to rest. Because like I'll rest like in the afternoon. I'll be like, let me do something real quick in the morning. And then I can rest. And by rest, I mean like play games, because I don't really play games or some shit. So I don't even like sleep all day like that. So I don't give myself time to play video games because I get sucked in. That's the thing. Like if I play games, I want to play games for like hours, bro. I picked up a Goat Simulator, but that shit's so fun to just fuck around. You just run around wreaking havoc, bro. It's just like a goat running around, and the thing is, it's not like a normal goat. Like maybe the original one was, but I'm playing Goat Simulator 3, and they have like different attachments and shit. Like you can literally be like Captain America throwing his shield around,
What?
or you can get like lasers and start shooting lasers. But you literally just go around destroying the city.
Yeah,
and it's like stupid. Like there's no point to it, but you just have fun with it.
You said you have it on what though?
I got on PC on
PC.
Xbox Game Pass, but we can get online too. You can go squad deep. Bro, I don't know why. That shit's just so fun. Like you're not doing anything. You're just running around destroying the city, and I'll be on there for like an hour or 2 hours, and it's like you're just you're just finding like different collectibles. You're like, oh, I found a new hat. What does this hat do? And it's like a different power. I don't know, man.
See, I used to like those, and I still do. Those type of games, like Riley's trying to make me play Fortnite, Lego.
Bro, my coworkers have been telling me to get on Fortnite because the new
Lego shit.
yeah, exactly.
That's right. Riley's saying thing,
Fortnite
right?
Lego.
But he's saying like it's like a whole thing where you get like a farm too, and you create your own shit. Like it's everything. So he's like kind of like saying like it's kind of like Farmville in Minecraft.
Interesting. So all my coworkers have been saying like to get on that shit, but they're like, oh, but it's only fun if you play with a squad.
That's what Riley's saying
And I
too.
was
Like,
bro,
but Riley's been good at getting into though too.
like, that's what I hate about online games. If it works out and you guys have like a good schedule where it works out. But like sometimes trying to play squads with like, and it's like, oh, man, this guy's not on. Oh, now it's just us two. You just us two playing that.
I mean, I feel like Riley, he's been playing by himself, and he's been liking it just himself.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, actually, this is kind of random, but you know Brian?
Ortiz?
No, the guy we play with online.
Yeah.
In Discord.
Yeah, Riley told me.
Apparently, I know this guy. Apparently, I know this guy. That's
Eddie.
crazy.
Blue,
yeah. Apparently, I know this guy. Yeah, that's
you met
crazy.
Brian?
I met him twice, basically.
You met him twice?
Because I met him the first time online when I was playing with you.
Oh, yeah.
And then I met him in person, and I thought it was a different person. Because he goes to where I work. Like, he eats there all the time. He's a regular. I literally knew him. I met him basically 2 times.
So wait.
I literally met him 2 times.
You've seen him, you've met him before, but you never knew it was him.
Like, we never made the connection. That's crazy, because every time he would come up, I'd be like, yo, what's up, Brian? And then one day, he's just like, yo, we played online together one time. He's like, you're Yvonne's cousin, right? And I was like,
don't you have Eddie right here?
Yeah, because we have our name tags on our uniform.
You have his name there, Brian. So I was like,
But I never knew it was that Brian. Brian's such a common name, so I was like, it's just a different Brian.
Yeah, it makes sense though.
But yeah, for the longest time, I've been knowing this guy as 2 different people, basically.
He doesn't sound like him himself.
I mean, I didn't play with him that much. I played with him like a couple times. I knew him more in person, to be honest. That's the crazy part. It's like I'd see him more at work than even play with him.
That's so funny, bro.
And then he drove away, and that's when I realized I was like, "Yo, I played with this dude. I never even realized. I talk to him like almost every day."
It's funny because I talked to him more on Discord, and I haven't met him in person yet. the one time he came to go to my house, I think to drop off Rogelio. I was at Pati's house, so I wasn't even there. So he's like, "Oh, where you at?" I was like, "I'm not home. I'm at my girlfriend's house over here." He's like, "Damn, I came over here. We could have met and all that." I was like, "Damn."
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I
I
guess-
see him all the time, bro.
So you see him in his Tesla, huh?
Yeah, he got great Tesla.
Yeah.
His fucking
I wanna
license
drive- I
plate.
want-
Dude, I don't want to say it, but his license plate geeks.
I wanna what is called? Tell me after. Nah, I wanna ride in a Tesla too. I wanna see how it is. He said he was gonna give me a ride in a Tesla. That's why he asked if I was there. I wasn't there, sadly. Sadly, I
He be
wasn't.
pulling up all the time.
Just
He
which one does he
he
have?
always orders under his girlfriend's name.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, technically I know her too, kinda. So I don't really see her that much. I just see him driving, but it's always her name.
Well, wait, which does he have? He has the S3
I don't
mono.
fucking know. I just know it's a great Tesla.
It's great.
You never seen it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's a great Tesla. It's nice.
That's so funny because Riley was talking to me about that. Like I think today or yesterday. He's like, "Yo, yeah, Brian." Word of it, Brian. Yeah, like that at their job. That's funny because he said you just met. You guys been seeing each other.
Been knowing each
That's
other. That's the crazy
funny,
part,
That's
bro.
the funny part too. That's all like. He's like, yeah, Riley just told me you saw him. He's like, but then you're like, no, I've been seeing this guy the whole
Yeah,
time.
we've
too.
been knowing each other. That's crazy.
No, yo, what? That's actually pretty
Told him
crazy.
it's a small world. Like, he told me he pulled up because I was on the window, and he pulls up to the window. He goes, "Hey, you're Yvonne's cousin, right?" I was like, "Yeah, you know Yvonne?" He's like, "Yeah," and so I know his brother too, Elio. I said, "Damn, that's crazy." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, and I know some of his cousins too. He's like, I was friends. I was like, "How do you meet?" Because I asked him, "How do you meet them?" He's like, "Well, it's because I actually met him through one of his cousins." I was like, "Oh, what's his cousin's name? Maybe I knew him." I was expecting it to be like one of your like
Edgar.
other cousins from your dad's side. And he's like Edgar and Clarissa. I was
Yeah.
like, they're my cousins too. He was like, what?
He's like, man, I swear I played with you.
That was crazy though.
So did he know you were like the one Eddie then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He texted in the Discord later. That's how you knew.
Oh.
He texted in the group chat later on Discord. That's funny though.
That is pretty funny. He plays League.
Bro,
I'll download it.
I need someone to play on with because League is fun, but I feel like that shit's only fun if you got
If you
a
have
good
good
team.
play, yeah, I figured.
Like I don't even care if it's competitive. I don't care if we win. That shit, it's just fun to like
It's like
strategize.
it's like the Mario one too, right? Not the Mario, the Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that game's fun too. But that shit's only on or not on the Switch.
but Helly has it too.
What is it? The Pokemon Unite. But Pokemon Unite is actually more fun than League. I'm not gonna lie. Just because it's more than just kill fighting. You have to actually score points and you make goals. Where it's like for League,
You have to destroy.
you have to destroy different towers,
Uh-huh.
and the towers will attack you. For Unite, you also have to destroy the towers, but instead of like attacking the towers, you have to score 50 points. And the way that you score points is you have to collect points by killing NPCs, like the enemies. And
Okay.
the more points you have, the slower you go.
Oh,
The less you have, the faster you go.
what do you mean, like your player moves?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you can max out, I think, at like 20. So if you get all 20, your player moves slower. If you only have like one or two, you can move faster. So I feel like there's more strategizing with that, because also there's one thing, there's this one technique that I think is a little overpowered, but I fucking love that shit, because once you get that shit going, you can become OP as fuck. Basically, it's this one equipment piece, this one item that you can equip, where every time you score points, it doesn't matter how many points you score, every time you score, it adds to your attack power. So what I would do is I would just go get 1 point, run it in, score it. Go pick up another point, score it. Go pick up another point, score it. And then you get fucked on a power to the point where you start one hitting everyone. You're just like, bah. All right, go score. One hit, bah, go score. And I was like, bro, I love that shit because it was so much fun. You'd be playing. That was fun though. The thing that would make me mad about that game though was that sometimes, and I feel like this was because there wasn't that many players, you would get put with PCs. That you'd be playing with computers.
Lame.
And that's the shit that ruined it, because I don't mind playing with computers as long as they're not dog shit retarded. Bro,
They're actually like good. They're bad.
there's this one monster, Zapdos. I don't know why I'm saying this one monster like you don't know the fucking name of it. Like if you don't know who it is. You can kill Zapdos. And
Does he become your team?
basically what happens is he scores, I think, 50 points.
Zapdos?
Yeah. He starts from your end, and he goes in one direction, and he starts going that way, and they can either kill him and block it, or he can
destroy the.
he can make the goal and destroy it, right?
Uh-huh.
But also once he gets that shit, there's no charge. So basically what the charge is whenever you're scoring a goal, there's like a little loading thing that has to like load, like a little ring you has to like load so you can score. And the more points you have, the longer it takes.
There's no.
The less points the quicker.
Yeah.
When you get Zapdos, there's no charge at all.
It just goes 1, 2,
instant.
3, 4. Oh, it just
It's
breaks.
instant, bro. So you can get Zapdos, he'll score, I think he scores 30, I think. So he scores 30 points. And then all the other hoops have no charge. So you can literally load up to 50 yourself and just go score yourself. And so everyone, like your whole team just loads up, and bro, that shit's OP. Once, literally, that game breaks, bro, Zapdos breaks the fucking game, straight up. Like once, you could be leading the entire game. Enemy gets Zapdos.
How hard is it to destroy
Doesn't
it?
matter. It takes a lot. And that's the thing that I hated about the computers was they would always be attacking him. And I'm like, bro, if you're in the fucking lead, like your team could be in the lead. And then your team of fucking computers decides, let's attack Zapdos for no fucking reason.
Uh-huh.
And they all get wiped out because you can almost never kill Zapdos like just like by attacking him.
Yeah.
Usually what happens is like you need the enemy team too.
Uh-huh.
So usually what happens is like someone ends up sniping him. So your whole teams of computers will go attack Zapdos, get wiped out, and then the other enemy team just comes in, finishes him. And you could have been leading the whole fucking game, leading the whole game. Your dumbass team just gives them Zapdos, you lost. That's why I stopped playing that game. I was like, bro, fuck this shit. I need to play with actual players. Because if you keep playing with PCs,
they're gonna keep loading the Zapdos, and then the other team can just take it.
Yeah, bro. I started dropping from rank, and I was like, I need to stop.
Yeah, it's like this shit's pissing me off.
This is pissing me off. I kept getting put with computers. They would always attack Zapdos. And I was like, bro, if you're leading, there's no reason to attack him. Like, I understand if you're like desperate, like you're like really far behind, like fuck it, this is our only chance to win. But if you're already winning, I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Why are you gonna do this to us?
But then again, you're also playing with a bunch of little kids, so it's like it's PC or little kid.
That is true.
Little kids are kind of dumb too sometimes. They just see Zapdos and they think it's an instant win. They're like, let's go for Zapdos. Let's go for Zapdos. It's like, bro,
Trust me.
trust me, it's an instant win, bro. It's like, fuck you, little kid.
It can be if they
Fuck off my Pokemon games.
I'm trying to replace this for the league, and you're not helping.
It's fucking made for little kids. I'm over here getting mad at them. Stupid ass little kid. You don't know how to play.
Go play league.
Go play your little Fortnite. The Pokemon is for us. The fuck you mean? You're supposed to be playing League.
But I like the ones that I usually just do play is just CS:GO.
You know what's another good
And
game?
Apex. I like those two.
If you don't like League because it's like third person,
Is it?
you could it's like you watch from the top.
Oh, that's what you mean.
And it is kind of weird. Like the movement is weird because you have to, like, right
I
click.
know that too.
But I was gonna say if you don't like that, you can also play Smite, which is similar, but I think it's also third person, but you play it like Fortnite style, whereas like you actually can run around with a character, and it's a similar thing, but it's just
So what's second person?
second person is you're watching. Basically, you're getting the second person view of me. It's like when you're seeing someone else.
Oh, and the third person is just the outside person.
Yeah, it's like a third person seeing us.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty much like second person, like whatever you say to me, I can see in your person view, and then first person is just me actually doing it right now, and then, okay.
But yeah,
More.
we should get on one of those games for sure.
No, I told Riley I was gonna
don't know
download
why
the
this-
Fortnite Lego.
I don't know why those strategy games are fun as fuck.
They are. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of it, it's just like you have to. I think like same thing with CS. CS is just like you have to like strategize, make plans, go with each other.
It's like fuck, what was it? Remember Paladins? It's kind of like Overwatch.
Overwatch.
You remember that game? That we
Yeah, Paladin. Yeah.
That game was fun.
No, you said once you said where I was like, then you said Paladin. I was like,
That's
yeah,
like the
that
free
yeah,
version, basically.
that was really fun.
But that game is fun. I like games like that where it's like everyone has their own unique abilities.
No, you know another one that
That
I
really makes it like more fun to strategize together.
another one that I liked was the snow one. But we will go, me and you play together. Just
Darwin Project.
Yeah,
That was a good
Darwin.
game.
you
That
could
was a
be
good game.
you could be the helper, or you could be the fuck. Like you could either help or fuck people over as a director.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That's what I'm saying. That game was actually pretty fun.
Being a director always, I feel like the games always took forever to load up as a director.
Yeah, 'cause
I feel like everyone wants to be a director.
we gotta play that game again.
We do. That was just the beta version too. I think. I don't even think we played the full version.
Because it never came out until like maybe I don't know. Probably,
Yeah, we need to replay that. We could definitely get that shit on PC now.
probably. And the whole thing is too like.
Bro, we
With our-
dominated that shit too.
I know we
We
actually
used to
did
get
good. Yeah,
headshots back
no.
to back like nothing.
You're like, all right, go. And then once we played again, it was like people got better. I was like, all right, it's actually good.
It actually started. Yeah, I remember we got bored of that shit because we kept winning, which was like that was rare because I never played games like
Because
that.
dude,
But
it got to the point where the directors either liked us or they'll go against us, bro. Was it how good we're doing?
that's the funny part is the directors got punished. If you like only punish one character, like that was the director would get like minus points or some shit. I remember you weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to pick favorites either. That was fun though. I like that. They should make more games like that, where it's like someone could be a director. I don't know why. The fact that there's a director just makes it so much fun. Like there's just one dude that can control the whole game.
You know what's crazy? Because like,
That shit keeps it interesting.
and it's like the times that I do remember us playing is when I was in the chair over there, the rocking chair for the gaming chair. I'll be right there playing, and I'll be hitting my pen,
Yeah.
hitting my cart, and we'll just be there, just play right there. Like, all right, let's go, let's do this shit.
I remember that shit. I used to be in my room hitting my cart too.
That was a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we need to load that shit up again. It's around the time when we would play squads on Fortnite too.
Yeah, but that's when Fortnite was actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
Now it's just like over like the building thing is just
People got
they took it too
yeah, they
too.
took it too far with the building, bro. Like it was cool when people were just building like a wall here and there. Motherfuckers start building a whole tower now.
They go. I was like, yo,
I was like, bro, chill out.
I don't want. Damn. Okay. All right.
And there's layers to their strategy too. Like motherfuckers put break on the bottom layer so you don't break it.
Like steel.
Because you could just break it if it was just wood. So the motherfuckers started getting into creative. They're like, now put brick on the bottom or steel. I think
Yeah, steel.
steel's the strongest shit. And just put steel on the bottom and then start putting wood at the top. Like, bro, y'all doing the most right now. I was just trying to play a game.
And then once they fall, they have a way where they don't get fall damage or like you thought.
Right? You'll fucking put something down or some shit.
So I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Motherfucker be like, I feel like the internet I feel like kind of ruined competitive gaming because people kind of like learn different strategies online, and it's just like it's gotten to the point where people just get too competitive with that shit. Like motherfuckers, and then on top of the fact that it's like everyone wants to be a streamer too. Like everyone wants to be like top,
At least in Fortnite too more.
especially in Fortnite. Yeah,
Like at least yeah.
everyone wants to be like that top player, so they're out here like sweating as fuck, trying to just
Rank
learn
and
the
all
best
that.
strategies and shit. Motherfuckers cheating. And
I like Apex though. Apex is nice.
That's crazy. Motherfuckers cheating on that shit, making a career off of cheating on games.
Right?
Like
They
that
actually
one-
get like
what's that? Sniper Wolf getting accused of that shit. She's cheating on her games.
like getting the hacks.
I think she got accused of someone else was playing. She's using someone else's footage. Her boyfriend, I think. I think it would be like her boyfriend plays, and then she would just pretend like it's her playing.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's
But there's another one too that was apparently using aim assist, aimbot. and she got a fuck ton of hate for that because she went to a tournament and everyone was like, oh, and she did dog shit in the tournament, and everyone was like, oh, look at you, you're just using aimbot when you stream. I don't fucking know because I don't care, but it's still crazy to me that people made a career. Like,
yeah.
if it wasn't her, I'm sure someone else has.
That's the same thing with CS though. Like a lot of people, I don't like CS as much. But like the old CS, but the CS:GO 2, there was a lot of hackers where they have aimbots. They have everything.
Yeah.
So like it didn't make the game fun.
Exactly. You literally just turn the corner, headshot. I'm like, bro, either you're hacking or you have no fucking life because holy shit, who the fuck has that reflexes? Motherfucker, like, damn.
Like CS is fun, but that shit sometimes like I'm like, how the fuck did that shit not like hit him, or how the fuck you get me that quick? Like what the fuck?
And it's like I get if I like slowly walked out, right? Like I walked into that shit. Sometimes motherfuckers will literally just be waiting for you to peek out. But if you just like jump out or some shit and the motherfucker just headshot, I'm like, what the fuck? Like sometimes it could be on like I'll let it, you know, I understand. Sometimes you sneak out, like you try to, like you're a little slow, you're scared.
You could get hit.
You peek your head out and they're just waiting for you.
It was a sniper.
You just run out and they just headshot. And it's like, what the fuck?
Snipers, it makes sense, but like sometimes with like AK, if they're waiting, it's possible. But sometimes they just turn it and boom.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they'll be the one turning the corner. They come out by headshot. I'm like, how the fuck?
So far distance, how the fuck you get that shit?
So you were the one coming around the corner, not me. So you fucking came around and just quickly turned that shit to my head. That's crazy, but whatever. Shit, I don't turn on CS to get competitive. I'm just trying to have fun.
Yeah. To be honest, the thing is,
you know. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say for me, I can't even talk to the like actual people in CS. I don't know why.
What sucks is that. And low-key, it's already happening with CS, but like now that they're really trying to push like this whole NFT on games, gaming's gonna become a shithole. You know, like how they're trying to become like make like NFT items. Apparently, there's already a thing on CS where it's like a black market where people will sell like different CS skins and shit, different guns, because that's what I mean. You can get different ones, so. And that's not even like worth real money, like those guns. With NFTs, those would be worth like actual money.
Are you talking about when you're able to sell your gun on Steam?
Yeah.
And buy stuff from Steam?
Well, I think people actually sell their accounts too.
Oh, like the actual, like those websites.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know because I've never looked into it because I'm not going to fucking pay money for a virtual gun. But the thing is, like, it's gotten to a point where like people will try to like farm like the good shit, and it's like basically it's like what do they call it? Like scalping, but like for like that shit.
What do you mean?
You know like what scalping is? Like scalpers. It's like when the PlayStation first came out and a bunch of people just bought a fuck ton of them just to resell it for like really expensive.
Yeah.
That's what people are starting to do with all the items and shit. And that's what I feel like NFTs is going to promote, is people are just going to get into games, scalp them. People that don't even like playing games, like people that are like investors.
Yeah.
They're going to get into that shit, buy a bunch of fucking shit, and then just try to resell it. And if games let that shit happen, which some game developers probably will because there's money in that for them. But if they let that shit happen, it's going to ruin gaming entirely.
I feel like that's just to buy those though. I mean, I don't think that affects the actual game itself.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends. And that's why I'm getting to like if developers let it. Like it depends how much like the NFTs are worth. Like if NFTs just skins, whatever. But if it's like a whole level, like you gotta unlock this shit to like it's like DLC or some shit. So you gotta download this shit to get like exclusive level or some shit, or get like exclusive. Which I mean.
I guess, yeah, it depends on what game it is, yeah.
I don't know, man. Just scalping in general just ruins shit.
I mean, that's what happens with, like, with the Supreme. It's just the same thing with Yeezys.
It's the same shit that's happening with I think it's the Stanley Cups now.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how motherfuckers will fall for that shit every time. It's the same bullshit.
It just keeps the water cold, right?
Yeah, it's just a fucking thermal cup. But it's the branding, bro. It's just, you just brand that shit right, and motherfuckers will fall for that shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, cause we could easily do that shit with Rambler. But part of me, it just feels wrong. Part of me just feels like, nah. Like, it's something cult-like about it. It's like people just feel like need to have this shit, and he's just overpricing it. Something about it just feels like cult. Like it just feels like you're leading a cult. That's the one thing, because I talked about this shit with Ronnie too. How it's like we can make that into a whole brand, be like a Rambler. Make like you want to be a Rambler. It's like we probably could, and we could definitely lean into that shit and be like, "Oh, you're a loser if you're not a Rambler," and just like make people feel like they're being left out. Because that's basically what it is. Like if you don't have a Stanley, you're like a loser. I was like, "Oh, you're not hip. You don't have a Stanley Cup. Damn, that's crazy. You're a loser."
You're not a Rambler.
Like, that's basically like the whole idea behind. He's like, "Oh, you don't have Supreme, loser." That's the whole idea behind the whole branding, is like making people feel like they're missing out. But it also, to me, it kind of just feels like a cult. It kind of just feels like you're brainwashing people into like.
Yeah, but we don't say it like that. We just like or like when we brand.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter how you say it. The point is like, the wording isn't what matters. It's the idea that like you brainwash someone into thinking like they need it.
I don't think that would happen to ours.
That's why. Well, that's why I was trying to avoid that, because that's the conversation that we had with Ronnie, where it's like we can make it like that, and I told him like I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be an option. Y'all can be a Rambler if you want. We appreciate it, but we're not out here being like, yo, if you're not a Rambler, you're a fucking loser. You dead to us.
Not even
It's like,
that. I mean,
that's like.
I mean, like, because I wouldn't mind making it into like an actual brand and just having.
No, that's the thing. Like, I want it. Like, it's a fine line. Like, I want it to be like a cool brand where like people can feel cool representing it. Whereas like they can represent it and be like, okay, like this is a nice brand. But I also don't want it to lead to that where it's like people are trampling over each other to buy that shit. Like people have gotten hurt over that, like trying to buy the Stanley Cup. Whereas like they're waiting outside the stores and like they're like getting trampled and shit. Like I would never want it to get to that point where it's like a cult following.
But I feel like like that's only if we like make it into like to the stores and all that. Like, because you could just buy. We could like. It's just like for Supremes, they only release certain time. They release this. This is how much it's gonna be. That no more. After that, there's no more.
Yeah.
So if we have something like consistent, that would never happen.
Well, but the idea was to release limited.
It was, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to, because I'm not against that. I just want to make sure that our fans never get to that point. And basically, this goes back to scalping. It's like I would never want people to be scalping our shit.
Yeah, I want our fans to.
I would always want it to go to the fans. I would never want, because that's essentially what happened. That's what causes that. Is like people become scalpers and like, oh, now it's becoming expensive now because of scalpers, because they fucking resell that shit. Because I remember hearing.
But at the end of the day,
I never bought fucking Supreme, so I don't know. But I remember hearing from people, Supreme shirts aren't expensive. It's just that when they get resold by scalpers, is when they become expensive. So like, that's the problem I would want to avoid. It's like I want to be able to do limited time shit for our fans, so they can be like, oh, I was a fan during this time, during this era when they were doing this shit, and they can represent like when the era of when they were a fan. Because I mean, we're gonna be changing.
I feel like they could do that too, or we could just always bring it back, like bring the shirt once every year or something like that, or every 2 years. But like even then, like people would still be able to get the chance to get it.
Yeah, because because I think about this like a lot, as I guess like as someone who's trying to make music too. This is something that's very common with like musicians and with artists. Is they'll have merch for certain eras. Whereas like they have like this album, they'll have merch for that album, or they'll have maybe not just one album, but they'll have like an era where it's like they have this type of music that they put out for this amount of time, so they have this style of merch. I would like for us to have something similar like that, Like if we're gonna do like rib,
Yeah.
for example, like we could have rib games merch.
It could be like
When that ends, we could do merch of whatever we're doing.
well, we could just be like an anniversary too.
Anniversary merch. The idea is, and obviously we would just have to find a way to think about this in a low budget. How to do this with low budget is, and we're not gonna do this shit right now on recording, but just between us, we're gonna have to try to figure out how we can do this to get it later on, because I'm not worried about scalpers now, but later on, if that ever does become a problem, we're gonna have to figure out how we can avoid that, because I don't ever want that to be my biggest problem